Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, as usual, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening? Let's get into it.
Also joining us,
week.
it is the edgelord himself, Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース!
What's up, nerds? Whoo! Feel the edge already. Very excited to get into this show. Thank you guys all for listening. Without further ado, let's get into plugs, because we do have a pretty jam-packed show today. Very excited to get into it. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Also check out my other podcast, The Shweekly, wherever you listen to podcasts. Very fun show. Check it out. Josh, where can they find you?
At JD_Cole_37, that's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh, that's on X.
Yeah. Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Hoo-wee. Hell yeah. Also follow us at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Hit us up.
Wow.
On X and Instagram. You could also email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we will get back to you on our pre-show chat show that we do every week before the podcast. Usually comes out on Wednesdays. So, both episodes will come out on the same day this week because we're late. But yeah, check us out on all of those things. And, do that stuff. Hit us up on YouTube, like, share, subscribe to the podcast, even though we don't have a very visual element quite yet. I'm still working on getting a new computer. Those are expensive, but I'm getting there. So in the meantime, like, share, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Super helpful to keep us on the algorithm. Or, who cares? If you want, you could also subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. It's all good for us. We're all always happy to hear or see that people are listening to us no matter where they are. So check us out on any of those platforms if you prefer. And that being said, that's it. Spoiler alerts ahead. Let's get into the show. My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 402, The Tearful Days. So last we left off, we've been chronicling the fight between All For One and All Might. All Might's been using his super cool powered suit with equipment reminiscent of all of his students to distract All For One from reaching the UA sky base thing that they've been fighting Shigaraki on. So we start off this chapter with, people yelling about how Dabi was neutralized by Shoto and how Toga was defeated by Uraraka. And now we cut back to the flying the flying UA sky base thing as it is falling from the sky. We see Yaoyorozu actually for the first time in a long time, protecting the
Hagakure.
No, Hagakure is the invisible girl. I forget. Damn, I was just I just reminded of her name too recently. I don't know why I forgot.
Something with a T.
But the gadget lady. If you could look that up, Brian, real fast.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Because I do like this character. And I want to give her the respect she deserves. But yeah, Yaoyorozu has like a bunch of battle equipment that we never got to see her use.
Like War Machine.
Huh?
Just with less. She looks like War Machine, just scantily clothed and the such.
Yeah, just a scandalous war machine. And it looks like she's had her cool battle against like an army that we didn't get to see, which is super cool. We love that.
May?
Huh?
Is it May?
Hatsume.
Hatsume.
Hatsume. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Jeez. Anyway, so Yayo Rose is like noting that the twice clones are falling because of how Toga was defeated by Uraraka. And we cut to Deku and Shigaraki. Deku has Shigaraki like restrained, I guess, with his black whip. Damn, this cop guy, I remember his name before, but I forgot now. He's like watching on the battle. We are reminded of the Gloop Warp, that weird teleportation power that warps people by making them, I don't know, vomit this bile. It's weird how it works, but it was cool, I guess. But yeah, he All Might is monologuing about how the moment he injected himself with the rewind shot, he was aiming for this exact spot because he'd be in range of using his Gloop Warp to get where UA is. So, now he's like...
The detective's name is Naomasa.
Naomasa. I feel like his last name is how I know him, but...
Sukauchi.
Yeah. Damn. Thank you, Brian. All I need is the first syllable of every name, and it'll come back to me. So, yeah, he's about to use his Gloop Warp, and we see Shigaraki actually start glooping up, but he like just closes his mouth and holds in the gloop, which is super gross because he has like a second chin that makes him look like a weird. Makes him look like a
weird. The illest double chin.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of goofy, to be honest. But yeah, All For One is like, no, my other consciousness must have been swallowed up. Well, whatever. I'll have to do the legwork myself. As he looks down to All Might. The business course kids notice that All For One is now flying towards them, holding All Might by his leg. And he's like, yes, keep that pathetic look on your face and take responsibility for the dreams you fill these youngsters' silly little heads with. It's not looking good for All Might. Shigaraki shouts at Midoriya to go save All Might. And Shigaraki's like, go for it, please, because while you're gone, I get to go back and hurt the people who hurt me. So yeah, it's Midoriya is just kind of like at a standstill. He is like now seeing the visage of All For One that was within him kind of disappearing. I guess that's signaling that his like physical soul is making the leap, the transfer. And he knows he's just like, no, All Might. And we get this from like this inner monologue from All Might, remembering that time where Midoriya asked him if he could be a hero, and how he said yes, you can, because you were someone that never let his dreams die. I also can't abandon my dream to be the symbol of peace. And he makes his way up and puts his arms around All For One, and he says, and he starts like lighting up, and we get this memory of from All For One's perspective of when he fought Nana Shimura and her last moments, where she rescued All Might when he was young, and had what's this guy's name? the air guy that was like flying. Whatever. That old Deku's old teacher fly away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name too.
Yeah. So yeah, he remembers.
Gran Torino?
Huh? Gran Torino. Thank you, Brian. Jeez, I'm not remembering any of these characters today.
And it's one of your favorite movies too, isn't it, Chris?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Gran Torino. I enjoyed ironically because it is kind of a ridiculous movie. Yeah, All Might is just like, maybe after this death, maybe you'll turn into a little kindergartner again. And he explodes, and that's the end of this chapter. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia chapter 402?
Did he activate his latent quirk, or was it one more device?
I think it's one more device.
Yeah, I think it was Bakugo's.
It'd be weird if he suddenly got a power right now.
Oh, right. He
Because
never
he didn't
used
use Bakugo's
Bakugo's.
yet.
Yeah, I think
Is there a list of all the students he named already?
Yeah, if you look at the arm that he's wrapped around him, it's like kind of looks similar to what the Bakugo's gauntlets look like when you take the big grenade things off.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they look just like his gauntlets. I didn't notice it. This whole time I didn't really pay attention to that. Wow. He's a crazy bastard. Even Nana Shimura never did that. She just died trying to protect people. This guy's like, man, I'm going to blow myself up and you bastard. And I'm gonna enjoy this. Oh so well. This was a cool chapter. I feel like the bitter taste of Stain getting smoked was kind of rubbed away with this chapter. Not that it was incredible, but I liked a few things that happened. I mean, I think we all knew Shigaraki was gonna deny him, but I like actually really enjoy the way it was done because it's not like the straight up betrayal aspect. He's just like, not right now. I know you have a plan and all that, but I need to finish this fight with this little kid, with this dirty boy, and all of a sudden quirks. But I guess you could say the same for Shigaraki, huh? He got a bunch of quirks out of nowhere as well. But Midoriya did it first. Midoriya did it first. All right. Anyway, yeah, it sucks that we couldn't see Yajirozo fight with a lot of fight with these new attachments and just in general seeing her have a little bit more of a developmental leap. But I guess I'll just take Horikoshi's word for it that she did something really important. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it looks
And
like
that it
she was
was epic.
protecting May from the Twice clones.
Yeah. And like I'm sure there was a big moment where she reflected like on her life and what led her to here and how she pushed through a certain situation. I'm willing to accept that that's definitely what happened, and we just didn't get a chance to read it. So, same with this. No, I guess the girl with the. I guess Hatsume had a moment earlier. Um, man, what I was gonna say earlier was that we were all wrong. Brian said 3 chapters. I said 4 to spite him, and Chris said 5 because I don't know why. But
5
we
chapters to
already
what?
got back to Izuku Midoriya fighting against.
Did I say 5 chapters? Wow.
I didn't
Yeah,
say.
he's,
Wait, I said like 2 or 3, maybe.
you said 3.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'm bugging. Maybe you said 2, and I
Maybe
said 3,
I
and
don't.
Chris
Wow.
said 4.
Hmm.
They were one after another.
Yeah, I don't remember, so I'm not going to dispute it. But
Regardless, we were all wrong because it happened immediately. Thought that was funny to think about. Um, All Might's Besties got wiped out before he blew himself up, which means he definitely blew himself up, right? Right?
Yeah, the
I would say
odds
he blew
that he's
himself up.
alive is very low.
Is in the decimal points, or we're still in the 0 to 10% range.
I think he's in decimal points.
Okay. Decimal points for Chris and Brian.
Decimal points, yeah.
Okay, in the audience, you can let us know in the comment section on YouTube where we drop the. We don't have video right now, but we do drop the audio tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, those are my thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think about this chapter. What's up, Brian? Was Midoriya dirty enough for you? No.
This was a pretty good chapter, mainly because it's, this is All Might's final hoorah. Like his last impact on the world, and I think it was pretty good. It was like mutually assured destruction. It's like the old guard taking out the old guard so the new guard can finish the job. And he did it in a way that it was like all him, like he took every step of the way. Like he brought him all the way down to such a young age. He held him off for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty good last hurrah for All Might. I hope that they don't take this away from him and like keep him alive after this, because I feel like it just makes sense for him to be done.
Unless he comes back as a baby.
Who, All Might?
All for one. Like when he heals from the
He is
explosion.
probably gonna come back as a baby first.
That
But
can't.
I don't
And
know.
he's just like crying.
I don't know how
Then that'd
cognizant
be
he's gonna
cool.
be. But I guess it could also go alongside the original like idea where Ares is gonna reverse all the people back to kids or something. So there's a chance that he is just a baby and then he has to be re-raised in like a proper society.
Just a glowing boy.
Yeah, like he instead of growing up to become whatever the fuck he became, he could grow up to be a hero instead.
Somebody's lamp. I guess that'd be a lot less lethal.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice of him to employ himself that way. It takes a lot of humility to be someone's lamp.
More than I'm capable of, that's for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, but I guess neither could he.
Yeah, which led him down this path in the first place. That was a great point, Brian.
But that's all your
But
thoughts.
that's
bro?
all. Yeah, that's all my thoughts. I'm excited to see what happens with Shigaraki and Deku. Obviously, I don't know if we're actually gonna get into the fight next chapter. I still think it might be like another chapter that we have before that, but I don't know if we're gonna get into it full.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be weird if we just scooted along past this and then just got into the fight straight up. It was like, oh, All Might's dead. All right, let's keep fighting. Oh, his pivotal character is dead. Yeah,
I think All Might's death is going to start the awakening of Bakugo. Maybe there's that chance.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's all for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. I thought it was a really cool way for, like, I guess All Might to go out. If anything, the last hurrah for him. I'm excited to see how this is like going to be executed going forward, because it's obviously not over yet. He's not quite dead quite yet, so I feel like next chapter is probably going to tug on the heartstrings a little more than this one is. But I am looking forward. Is My Hero coming out? I feel like one of them is missing a thing. Oh yeah, it's My Hero. So I actually don't know if My Hero's coming out, because it doesn't say that it's coming out in 4 days like Jujutsu Kaisen does, and so on. So My Hero Academia may be off next week, but either way, I'm excited to see where it goes. Really, I'm not that broken up about not seeing Yaoyorozu. I guess it came with the territory. I was just mostly being silly, but
I'll never let it go.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool, is all I'm saying. But yeah, overall, pretty solid chapter. I love that panel where, All Might already looks half dead as he's holding on to him. That symbol of peace one.
Yeah.
It's really crazy the lengths he went to just to fulfill this dream of, being the guy that doesn't let anybody down. Ironically,
he might be the only one in his lineage to like die taking down All for One.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be like a Cell situation where he just like blows up, but All for One still survives. He's like,
I'll
hey,
be mad.
he didn't blow up my brain, and therefore I was able to heal from a single drop of blood.
Is that what Cell said?
Yeah.
Damn, like Majin Buu too.
Yeah, no, Majin Buu was even more invincible because Cell had like a definite weak spot that Goku just didn't end up disintegrating, I guess.
Yeah, we love that.
What did you have to do to Buu? Turn him into chocolate, like his angry version
the
did?
spirit bomb it was like the spirit bomb combined like of the energy of pretty much everybody in the Dragon Ball universe that took Buu down.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, Cell was like Buu is like Cell on steroids.
Yeah, that was the last thing, is that they gathered everyone's energy in the galaxy basically to fucking kill to kill Kid Buu. But
And then they created him by accident because they snatched out, the Kid Buu.
yeah, he reincarnated as a human child.
Yeah, I remember Oob.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that I remember when they got into. I remember like Majin Buu ate them or something like that. Ate Gogeta like when they was fighting against
Oh
each
yeah,
other.
yeah. He did.
And then like they snatched all of the people out, but they also snatched out Majin Buu, like the fat version.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what turned him into Kid Buu, right?
Yep.
It was like pure malice.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about like Dragon Ball Super in general is that it is the intervening time between the Kid Buu saga and meeting Oob.
So we know the world is okay.
Yes. Technically, it would have to be for the last episode and chapter of Dragon Ball to make sense.
I mean, the retcon would never be that hard, right?
Hmm?
They
I mean,
would never retcon it that
It would be a
hard,
pretty
right?
aggressive retcon. But
You know what was aggressive? The Cowboys' defense against the Patriots on Sunday afternoon.
it sure was. We didn't get to talk sports in our pre-show this week, but next week, I guess we'll make up for it, and we'll praise the Cowboys effectively. Who are they playing next?
49ers.
Ooh, that'll
Sunday
be fun.
night. Yeah.
Sunday night? Oh, hell yeah. I'm so excited for that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
I guess we can get to Jujutsu now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Let's move on to our next series. My Hero Academia. Fun chapter. Good chapter. Let's go. No shit. I'm just picking a thing.
This is just some really murderous shit.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Honestly, a fitting drop for Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 237, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown Part 14. Last we left off, Gojo died. Gojo's dead. Gojo passed away. Gojo is no more. He is gone.
Yeah. He's in 2 pieces. 4 pieces technically.
Yeah, Gojo is the 2-piece. He's
Yes. He's the second part to One Piece after Oda finishes and retires.
yeah, he's
There
the
will be
Boruto
2 Piece,
version of
and
One
it starts
Piece.
when Gojo's plane to the afterlife. He's gonna find the 2 piece,
Yeah,
but it's actually his body.
yeah. So he's totally dead,
Spoilers.
and he's not coming back. Cope.
It's just a cope.
I'm not
People with
coping as well.
agendas.
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
You know what was a cope? That fucking Twitter thing I sent you with the dude explaining how he could still come back alive.
Yeah,
He's like how Kashimo's lightning could hit his
that's
body,
a huge
hit his
cope.
upper side, hit his brain, and restart his body.
That is just a
activating his
cope
curse.
by people with
His-
agendas.
But he activated his reverse curse technique. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
A hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
I just love that drop. I got to use it more often.
A hockey man.
Those pain drops. That whole pain thing was so funny. Anyway, last we left off, Gojo has passed away, leaving Kashimo, the fucking fiend himself, to immediately sprint into action. So you know no man, he was already out. The second Gojo got cut in half, he bounced. He was on his
with
way.
a smile on his face.
Oh my god, bro was so happy. I don't think I've ever been that happy to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I never leapt out of my house like that.
The amusement park.
I don't even think that much, you know? That's insane. Look how happy he is. So he's going to a battle he knows he probably can't win. But he goes over and he peeps in the sky that there's this...
I don't know about that.
Well, fair enough. You know what? Maybe I was being a little judgmental. But
I don't think he can win. But, like, you know, I don't think Kashimo thinks that, personally.
yeah. Kashimo's like, I'm trying to win. So he's going and he peeps that this giant iceberg is falling from the sky, and on top of it is Uraume. This is gonna be a hard name to say. Uraume.
The frozen star.
Yeah, the frozen star. But you know, above him, counter reverse Uno card, Hakari is there. Which is super cool. I saw Hakari there and I was like, yes. Let's go. So, you know, Uraume tries to do his weak ass ice shit, but then Hakari uses his domain expansion and captures Uraume inside of the domain, which you know what time it is. It's Pachinko City in there. It's Pachinko o'clock in that giant ball in the sky.
How did Hakari get there?
I don't know.
He ran as fast as he could.
I mean, he ran as fast as Kashimo did. He had to.
Hakari?
Yeah, because technically he got there kind of at the same time, if not a little before, because he was able to get the jump on Uraume, who's coming from the
Why are you
sky.
saying it like that?
That's his name.
Just say Uraume or something.
That's what I said.
Uraume.
Well, am I
You're like
saying it?
enunciating on the U so hard.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it right.
You're like Uraume.
I'm not gonna lie, Brian. This one's a hard one to say for me. I have to emphasize the U's. This is how I naturally say it.
I thought you was fighting him.
No, bro. I don't.
So cool.
I'm not trying to be funny.
You're disrespecting him.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I just have to say his name that way.
Say it with me. Uraume.
Uraume.
No, like roll the R.
Uraume.
There you go. That's much better.
I did it. Oh.
I don't know if that's the proper way to say it, but it sounds better.
It's Uraume.
Uraume.
I'm going to say it how I want,
better.
Brian. Whose show is this?
Better. It's better. Okay?
It's Uraume.
Sounds better.
You know what? I wasn't doing it to spite him before, but now I am.
Yes.
You sound like fucking what's his name? The guy from Yu Yu Hakusho?
Kuwabara?
Yeah, you sound like Kuwabara.
Urameshi, it's Uraume. Urameshi. I do it. I don't know how he did that voice for so long. It actually kind of hurt my throat to do that.
All right, I've been looking at this panel for too long to save this for my afterthoughts, but oh my god, am I scared for Hakari right now?
Bro,
I am so terrified.
I'll be honest. I
don't
feel the
trust
same way. I'm like, Hakari better not come out of this domain dead.
Yo,
Uraume
like, was this your man? Was this the guy that was supposed to?
He had such a gangster entrance too. Uraume.
Little does he know that I'm really good at pachinko. I'm really good.
And I know all about that stuff. Whatever the fucking theme of
Uraume doesn't know shit about fucking.
You don't know Uraume.
They're not ancient sorcerers.
I think Uraume might be.
I thought he's the twins that Ghetto found.
No, I don't think they're ancient sorcerers. They're dead, by the way. But no, I think Uraume is an ancient sorcerer because he's really cool with Sukuna. Like they're like buddies.
Okay.
Buddies is a strong word.
Well, he seems to be nice to him. He seems to be one of the only people that Sukuna is kind of nice to, all things considered. As nice as Sukuna can be, he is to Uraume. But anyway, Uraume is trapped in Hakari's domain. Please don't let this motherfucker die in there. God damn it. I can't take it. Gojo I can handle. Please don't take Hakari from me.
He's probably not gonna die.
No,
Like,
God, cross fingers, bro. I don't trust Gege about anything. But anyway. So it turns out that the iceberg is actually just like a means of delivery because it melts, and we see that it was basically carrying a cursed tool that Yorozu made before she died, I guess.
Who's that again?
The one that Sukuna, the one
The
that took
Bug Lady.
over, the one that took over Megumi's sister's body.
Are you kidding me? She just crafted that shit real
Yeah,
quick?
I guess before she died, she made like a desperate binding vow and constructed an item. I would imagine Maki did something similar. So,
Okay.
oh, not Maki, Mai, I guess. But yeah. In any case, there's this like kind of knife looking thing with this weird spherical hilt. It looks kind of cool, if not kind of impractical, I guess. But
You know where it's where that comes from?
what?
Comes from Hindu mythology.
This
It's
blade?
Indra, it's the weapon that Indra, the lightning god, wields in Hindu
That's pretty
mythology.
sick. He got that for the lightning guy?
I think that's just something he always had because in one of his early art, like he's shown wielding that weapon. So he's had it for a while.
No, but he said that Yorozu constructed this item. So
Yeah, she constructed it, but he's known for using that kind of weapon.
He does say just like old times.
oh, I see.
I'll be honest.
That's what he meant.
I mean, it still seems incredibly random to me. And especially since it didn't really matter in this situation as we turn the page and see that this kid was unaffected by it. Like, I don't know. It was just.
Is that what he did? Because I was actually kind of unclear. Did he summon that lightning down to him?
Yeah.
Sukuna?
Yeah.
Yes. So that weapon allows him to use electricity.
Okay. Because it was weird. Because it felt like it was like landing. Like Hakari landed, and that was like in a big explosion from landing. But it's good to have that clarity. But yeah, Hakari is okay because his cursed energy allows him to.
You mean
he has-
Kashima?
Did I say Sukuna? My bad.
You said Hikari.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Kashimo's okay. Because his cursed energy allows him resistance to electricity. But I think that's an important distinction. It's resistance, not like invulnerability. So I think there's a limit to how much electricity Kashimo can take.
He seemed fine to me.
I think in that moment he's good, but I think this is the first blow. You know what I mean? It's the first
True.
attack. It'd be weird if he just died right there. So yeah, Kashimo starts asking him if Sukuna became the strongest or was he born that way? And Sukuna's just like, beats me, but I bet I was a creepy kid.
Wow.
Understatement, I guess. So Kashimo goes on to say, if you've never known weakness, then how can you interact with others or show kindness or ever show kindness? He says that he couldn't do it. Others were like brittle clods of earth to him. So he's like, tell me, must strength be lonely? Are the strong cursed to wander in search of limitless power? And Sukuna just replies with a greedy bastard. And he says, Gojo was like that too. I'll tell you. So bring it on, departed spirit. And
He was like that.
Yeah. And Hikari,
Gee,
not Hikari, sorry, I keep getting them mixed up.
the past tense.
Kashimo gets hyped up and immediately rushes Sukuna. They get into a little martial arts punchy hit with a sticky, and then Kashimo uses his technique release, Mythical Beast Amber, and he turns into, as Josh pointed out to me before we started recording, he turns into Birdo from the Super Mario Brothers.
I never thought about that. I never fucking thought about that.
It's a
My
weird
first
design.
thought was, yo, Brian, my first thought was the Deku Scrubs from Zelda.
I didn't understand that reference. That's why he told me.
He about to shoot a Deku nut at this nigga, man. Or a bubble.
You guys thought about so much shit that I just didn't think about.
Also,
I'm like, oh,
you
that's
know the
weird.
Octorks from Zelda that shoot the rocks at you?
Yeah.
When you shielded it, goes right back to them.
He looks like
Oh,
Golbat.
yeah.
That's a reference I know for sure.
Mm.
Not as
But yeah,
good.
this is crazy.
Okay, so
Not as crazy as the explanation we're about to get for what's
bro,
happening.
okay, so he uses his new Birdo powers to shoot out, I guess, like a sonic boom. And we get an explanation that the mythical beast Amber reconstructs flesh in order to manifest phenomena that Kashimo converts from cursed energy. So he's basically saying that he uses this technique to turn his body into whatever cursed energy he's like the nature of his his cursed energy, which happens to be lightning, as that is like his thing. So basically, Kashimo is Eneru right now. He's turned himself completely, pretty much into lightning. And he is just running around, keeping Sukuna on his heels. He punches Sukuna once, sending him flying. We get his like power list. Basically, he gets improved agility. He can unleash sound waves and attune to natural frequencies of substances. He has electromagnetic waves that vaporize irradiated objects. So yeah, but after completion of this curse technique, his flesh collapses. So that's why I'm saying that I think he's completely made out of like electricity at this point. So he shoots a bolt of electricity at Sukuna, and we get an explanation that Sukuna also has a way to repair flesh only once, besides reverse curse technique. He can do so by resuming transformation as a curse taking fleshly form, which he had purposefully interrupted before. And we get a big splash page to end the chapter of Sukuna taking his true form, his four-armed, four-eyed, weird face form. And that is where the chapter ends. Jeez Louise. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 237?
Okay, so even though I have a lot of mixed feelings about this chapter, it's my RGC.
Honestly, same. It is also my really good chapter of the week. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, it's my RGC as well.
Yeah, Unified.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
I love the One Piece sounds. Yeah, bro. What does he mean, which he had purposefully interrupted before? Who, Sukuna?
Yes.
Purposefully interrupted it?
Yes.
Meaning he didn't want to turn into this form.
Yeah, I think he was holding himself back from turning into this and keeping Megumi's form. At least that's what I can gather from this.
Is Megumi dead?
That's that's the big question. Is that, does this mean Megumi is dead? I don't know.
I don't think so. Because there's a chance that with soul manipulation that he could still be alive. Like, it's still his body, right? Unless he's just a curse now.
I don't know. I genuinely I really don't know what this means for Megumi.
Well, it is what it is. I guess we'll find out soon. But you know, I'm one of the things that came to my mind was okay, like, did Kashimo surpass Gojo? And I don't think so because Kashimo didn't have to deal with Maharaga first and foremost.
No, so the whole thing is that the reason why Sukuna didn't just fuck up Gojo right away is because he wanted to develop a way for his cleave to pierce through time and space, essentially.
Right,
So
because he couldn't hit him anyway.
yeah, he purposely let that fight go on that far so that he could get what he wanted. So
Right.
he has no
But
reason to hold
but it
back.
was out of necessity.
Yes, for him it was. He wanted that.
Like he's not like he prolonged the fight and he could have ended it at any time.
I think he could
That
have.
was just, but he didn't know how to do it.
No, he did know. He just wanted to develop the means for it to be done in a way that amplifies his own curse technique. So he could, like, it's stated that he probably could have just killed him without using all that, but he
Gojo?
wanted to do it. Yeah, Gojo.
No, I think. Well, I don't think he needs. Here's the thing I'm like kind of confused about is that like I don't know if he needed Megumi's form to use his technique.
No, he just used the technique so that he could prolong the fight.
Well, he
in a
needed
way.
he needed Maharaga.
Yeah, he needed Maharaga to come up with the model of the
because
the
he
ability
couldn't.
that he wanted.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. He couldn't have finished the fight without Maharaga.
I think that much is clear, or rather, he would have had to try to finish the fight in some other way. But I think the Maharaga was the best solution he could think of in
No,
order to give him a surefire way of winning.
I think on paper he could have just brute forced his way to a win, but he decided not to do that.
No, he knew he couldn't get past the inviolability by himself. Like he could be Gojo in a like if he didn't have viability. The only difference between them was that he couldn't touch Gojo. So he needed
Yeah.
That's not
Maharaga.
true because he could.
Well, he could but he didn't know how to do it. That's why he needed Maharaga. That's why
No, because
I mean, even in the times where he lost the domain battle, he was able to he was able to survive like Sukuna slashes and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but
So
that's still something he could have done. Like I'm sure if he used his own curse technique alone, he could have beaten him.
I don't know about
Like
that.
even Gojo himself.
I think
said
he
that.
tried to. I think he tried to see if he could beat him without Maharaga.
Well, Gojo
even
said,
with
what
even when
Gojo
he
said is that he couldn't go all out, probably because he didn't consume all of the fingers.
But we know that's not true.
Well, what do you mean? He didn't eat all the fingers, and it's also like he couldn't go all out
Because he ate his old body as a substitute.
I don't know.
Well, we don't know if that's like established super well. Like we don't know what that means for him. We don't know if that's like he didn't.
So it's implied that that's the substitute because
it's implied,
he said
but-
I have my own methods or some shit.
Well,
when
it's
he ate.
implied, but we don't know. And it's also like I think what he really meant is that at the end of the day, Sukuna couldn't go all out because it wasn't a fight. It wasn't like necessarily a fair fight for him at the start because of Gojo's inviolability. So he wasn't himself fighting. He was fighting with Maharaga. He was like waiting for Maharaga to present him a way to an easy win. Because at the end of the day, you're right. Like he could have, if it wasn't for the inviolability, Sukuna beats Gojo pretty easy.
But that's Gojo. That's one of Gojo's whole things, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm
aside from
saying.
the brute power he has, it's the inviolability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Brian? It's not that like he couldn't beat him. Is that like you can't beat what you can't touch. So
I don't know. I still feel like
He probably could have figured out a different way. I think that's what Gojo meant. Like if even if he didn't have the 10 shadows, he probably would have developed some kind of different way. But I don't think it meant that. Oh, he could have ended it earlier. But all like what was the point of developing that technique? Because my whole point of even asking all of that, right? About is Kashimo surpassing Gojo right now? Because like he's able to deal a killing blow on him. You know what I'm saying? And so where's this? Why didn't Sukuna use this super special technique that amplifies his own curse technique, etc., against Kashimo to just cut him in half before he even fucking did anything? You know what I'm saying? So I'm
There's
willing
just
to
too many
accept.
techniques that
I'm
Sukuna
willing.
didn't use in that fight.
Listen, I'm willing to accept that Kashimo probably just has a much better matchup and is also catching him on the heels of like like a big battle. So maybe he can't, he does like he's not given any time to let off any like big attacks or nothing like that, or like even use his domain because Kashimo was on him. You know what I mean? So I still think I don't even because even if you look at it like, all right, Kashimo versus like Gojo in a vacuum, but there's how would Kashimo touch Gojo, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Kashimo's better than him. I think he just pulled up and didn't give Sukuna a chance to breathe and then fucking blew him up with lightning. That was crazy. Like we've seen lightning attacks in like other series or like for me, mostly like in Avatar. Like when I see people get hit with lightning, it's pretty crazy. But Kashimo makes it real. Gigi makes it real. Like if you get hit with lightning, nigga, you getting blown the fuck up, just like Sukuna just did. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know how y'all feel about. Yeah, I guess you'll have rebuttals to how I felt about Kashimo, but yeah, man, this was. Yeah, I thought it was just weird that he had this like item. I didn't know that he had this in the past. Prior to the podcast, so I guess it makes a lot more sense now. But it just seems so weird. Like Gigi gave this huge explanation like this about this I like this whole entrance of him getting the item in the iceberg and all this extra shit just for it to not be completely ineffective seemingly against Kashimo's like purely electricity himself, at least at this point right now. It's pretty funny. But is it just me or did y'all see Sukuna like stab his head with the if y'all go to page 10, did he stab his head with the weapon?
No,
Or
no,
is he
he just
just on the
bops.
hilt of it, right?
Yeah, it was just the hilt,
Oh,
like the
okay,
bottom of
okay.
the blade that doesn't have the blade on it.
Yeah. I mentioned it while you was talking, but also on that page, he says, so Toru Goju was like that too. And I thought it cut a little deep because, he's putting it in the past tense.
Yeah, he
He
said
was like
was.
that. He was when he was alive, and
Now he's
amongst the
dead,
living.
so he's no longer like
Amongst
that.
because I killed him. He's over there. This is like a trauma response.
Yeah, we're really going through it here.
It's not about not liking Gojo. It's just the shock. I was so traumatized by that last chapter. I'm worried about the guy from the beginning. Forgot his name.
Yuta?
Hikari.
Hikari. Yeah. Like imagine like after like Sukuna mops up Kashimo inevitably. Like we see the ice guy pull up to Sukuna and he has like Hikari's head frozen in a block. He's like,
Please don't
oh,
manifest these things into the world, Josh.
I'm just trying to brace myself, man. He's gotta get lucky. All right, those are my thoughts. What about you, Brian?
This was a pretty sick chapter because it's like a different I've never seen a curse technique like this, and I'm pretty sure it's a first of its kind. Every time a new curse technique shows up nowadays, it's like a complete like departure from what I originally thought curse technique was. Um, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool fucking ability. I think that I don't think he's gonna stand much of a chance against Sukuna. If we're really being honest, it just seems like it already has a time limit. Sukuna can just heal forever. Like he doesn't even need to take damage. And I feel like there's so much more to this original body that we probably don't know about. Like there's probably a reason why he has so many like limbs and shit, you know? Like it's not just, oh, I want to punch more. It probably just has some like practical applications.
Well,
So
Sukuna is technically a curse himself. So that's why he doesn't like really look human.
yeah, but he doesn't seem like the type of person to like have something if he doesn't need it, right?
No, I guess what I'm saying is that like his curse form is not necessarily his call. This is just what he looks like as a monster.
But what if he's good enough to choose?
It's possible. I mean, you know.
I mean, he's like a cursed energy savant. Like literally nobody can use this system like he does. So I wouldn't be surprised if he could just manipulate how his cursed body looks like. There is like a theory out there that he had a brother that he fused with, so that could explain like the extra limbs.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I
So
remember
maybe
an
that's
iceberg video. Like Chris put me onto like this iceberg video where the dude talked about like what Sukuna might have been inspired by, which was like this congealed twin that they kept in the basement and locked it and it, you know, until they died, and they put a whole bunch of like they did a whole bunch of weird things to the corpse, and it turned into it was like the most cursed object you could think of because it was unholy because it's, you know, a deformed person, but you know that's fucked up. First of all, we don't rock with that at New Jump City. Everyone's beautiful, but nonetheless, that's how the story went, you know, and that's what Sukun is based on. So yeah, he probably is a congealed twin. And that would be interesting if he had some other type of ability attached to him because of that.
Yeah.
Pretty scary.
But yeah, this opens up like a lot of avenues, and I feel like the more Sukuna pulls out in this fight is the more like it keeps painting the picture of just how much he could have done during the Gojo fight. Like him using this form alone shows how little he used against Gojo in that fight. Like if we're really being serious here.
Well, he says he had purposefully interrupted before, so maybe there's a drawback to this.
No, he purposefully held it back so that he could have this trump card of like being able to repair his body, right?
Well, they mentioned he can only do it once this way. So like they're saying that this is an alternative to using reverse curse technique. That like this is a different way to heal and he can only do it once.
Yeah.
He could do it this
So don't
way
forget to blow it
specifically
again.
once. And I think it's probably because he was like right now probably like burnt out of reverse cursed energy. So he used this technique to heal himself instead.
Yeah, because he was already damaged from the Gojo fight. You could see it on his face. The left side of his
Yeah, his
face
eye
was,
hadn't grown back really.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
his
from that
left eye.
purple.
Like he didn't have this weapon, he didn't have this form, you know. He there's a lot of moves he didn't use. I don't know, man. I just really think that Gojo fight was for like personal growth more than anything. And this chapter kind of proved it, in my opinion. Which sucks because, you know, we want Gojo to be like the guy that pushed Sukuna to the edge, you know. But it's just every chapter that passes after that fight seems like it's just not the case, and it's kind of sad. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think like I've said this before, but I think like the thing that separates Sukuna from everybody else is that he understands the system, this power system, on a level that like nobody else in this series even comes close. Because there's still like a sense of wonder around like all of the shit that like they saw during the Gojo versus Sukuna fight. They're like, is that even possible? Is this even possible? And Sukuna's like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's possible.
To be fair, Gojo did give him a lot to learn in
Yeah,
this
definitely.
fight. But that's literally, I think, the reason why Sukuna fought him in the first
Well,
place.
Gojo, like, I feel like Sukuna knew from the very beginning, from the first second he saw Megumi, he met Gojo technically before he saw Megumi's technique. So when he got beat by like Gojo in the very beginning, when Itadori first absorbed him, he was he didn't really have a means to really like. I feel like he didn't know then how he was going to get past the inviolability, and then he saw that Megumi uses 10 shadows, and it was like, oh, I got to get this kid's technique no matter what, because then after I have access to Maharaga, I'll be able to find a means to kill Gojo. Because once I figure out the inviolability thing, he's done.
Man, Yuji got played so fucking hard. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I had no idea the agreement they made was going to turn into all of this, man.
Yeah,
Or
that
that it was going to
agreement
happen so
got
soon.
Gojo killed.
Pretty much, yeah.
I just wonder what Yuji is gonna have, because it feels like the world is moving past him at this point. I don't know what the fuck he can do.
Yo, my
to keep
friend
up.
mentioned this, right? Like, he needs to activate his own curse technique. He doesn't have one yet.
Well, Gojo
There's
has
no
mentioned
way.
that he will never have one.
What?
Yeah, Yuji just doesn't have a curse technique.
Because he doesn't have any negative feelings.
No, he just for whatever reason he just doesn't have one. He only has cursed energy. Those powers,
That seems
like
pretty dubious.
your curse technique, is something that you're like born with, and you like live with from an early age. And cursed energy is something everybody just inherently has.
Yeah, Yuji is just born strong as fuck.
Yeah,
Because there's a chance he's a cursed womb.
Yeah.
Child.
Yeah. It's just crazy because the dude with the heart and blood technique, he has curse technique, and he's a curse womb as well.
That's true.
Crazy.
That's fair enough, but he is like he's a descendant of one of the big families. So Yuji
right.
Yuji is like is technically, I guess, a descendant of Kenjaku's. So maybe he does have
Partially
maybe he
Kenjaku
just
and
like
his-
maybe he does have a curse technique and he's probably gonna unveil it.
I don't know.
There was that scene in like before the Gojo fight where, he was working on it with Kusakabe. He was working on something with Kusakabe. They were in the lab doing stuff.
Yeah, the body switch theory.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that he could jump into Megumi's body and punch out Sukuna.
Well, Gojo has also mentioned that Itadori, the longer that Sukuna remained inside him, the more that Sukuna's technique would kind of rub off on him. And I don't know what that
I mean, he
means.
knows dismantle.
Well, we
or
don't know what
cleave?
that means specifically, if he has the access to dismantle or not, but
That reminds me of another theory where people are like that Sukuna's curse technique is to like split or pull apart, but Yuji's is to pull together and connect.
maybe
Because like cleave is like a double meaning, right? Like
cleave means to cut. Pretty definitive.
there's like two different definitions of cleave.
Cleavage?
I don't think there's. Let me see. I'm gonna look up cleave right now.
leave these nuts.
You don't want me to do that. Split or sever. There is
Stick too fast. Stick fast too.
third person present. Damn. No. What do you mean? It says split or sever.
There's that definition,
Stick
and then the
fast too.
second definition.
Oh,
is
maybe, yeah.
stick
Oh,
fast
wow.
too.
I didn't even know that. Well, that's sick. I don't know. Who knows? I'm done trying to predict what the fuck is happening in this series. I never know. And that's honestly, I don't think there's another manga that really puts me through a loop. Like, well, maybe Chainsaw Man does, but
I just don't know that Yuji has the technical technical ability to make like a curse technique that's strong enough to keep up with Sukuna. You know?
well, yeah, the irony of that, like, Sukuna gets defeated by a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, really, is pretty good.
He's just a guy who runs up and punches him in the face.
Yeah.
What's your counter to that, Sukuna?
Yeah, just
Huh?
one lucky punch and knocks out Sukuna. But yeah, I thought this chapter was pretty fucking cool. It was cool to see Kashimo do his thing. His Birdo mode is pretty sick. This
Wilded out.
I mean, I will say this, Sukuna's like real form is a hell of a design. Very, very imposing villain design. Very excited to see how it works. I'm so glad Jujutsu Kaisen is not on break next week. Because
Yeah.
I need to know what happens next. This shit is
Yeah, this is
insane.
yeah.
Um,
Not even at chapter 300 yet.
yeah, because I'm like, I saw this. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I got spoiled to Sukuna turning into his like true form. I saw like the first thing someone posted just the last page of this, and I was like, God damn it.
That's so fucked.
Like, why would you even do this to me? But damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Sukuna's
Get on.
But whatever. Great chapter overall. Oh yeah, the thing is like I have no idea what this really means for this series for Megumi. Who's gonna kill this fucking guy? If they're gonna do the bad guy, is this just one of those manga where the bad guy wins?
Nah. Nah, I don't think so.
Gege is kind of like a sadist, or a sadist. He wants to hurt my feelings personally.
Yuji's special. No, even though he doesn't have like a place in this, he's just shrouded by so much mystery, you know? There's too much about him that doesn't add up. That's gonna pay off eventually, you know?
Yeah. Well, all right.
Like Yuji's probably gonna beat his ass.
Oh, I mean, I would hope
Yeah.
so. To be honest, I'd be very cool with that.
We can only hope.
Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right. Then let's get to moving then.
I hope he turns his sword into some guns.
Chainsaw Man. This is Chainsaw Man chapter 144, Guns, Nails, Katana. Last we left off, we saw that the weapon devils were getting set to attack a mall, to which they were quickly thwarted by none other than Quan Chi. Decapitated all of them in a matter of like minutes. It's pretty sick. And we now see that the public safety is turning their sights onto the Chainsaw Man Church, as they are now getting ready for battle. They have a ton of guns on them. Yeah, they're just getting ready. They're like, Chainsaw Man rules. With his light, we'll drive away the darkness within the government. It is Chainsaw Man's will. So, they set, but these public safety counters by sending in an agent to take care of them. We don't know the name of this guy, but he does have a giant brain. He has a brain sticking out of his head, no face outside of a nose and a mouth. He's got nails on his head. It's pretty gross. Reminds me of the Halloween girl. You remember?
Yeah. He's a weirdo.
Yeah. But he comes in and he's like, "Oh my goodness, what is this? Why, they're almost only Muppets. Kids shouldn't play with guns." They all shoot on this guy. But this guy defeats them easily by nailing all of them to the wall by their clothes. And all the while he's just yelling, "The precious hands of innocent children are meant for studying. Don't put guns into them." And as he neutralizes all these kids, which is pretty crazy. And then he's like, "Can you make a promise for me?" He looks at one of the kids and he's like, "Can you make a promise, dear? From now on, use those precious hands only to hold mechanical pencils, not guns, all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then this devil bashes his skull in, say, like, "Speak politely, will ya?" So, all the kids are now terrified because this person just killed a kid. And the weird cult leader behind them is he like shows up and is like, "Damn public safety dog. The devil exterminators sell their souls to devils. I'm not like them. I'll become a devil myself." And he turns into, I guess, the Justice Devil? Is that what this is?
Yo, I had thoughts.
But yeah, he's like, "I am justice incarnate." And he turns himself into this weird looking monster. He tries to kick this new devil, but he gets cut off, pun intended, by Katana Devil as he gets cut up into a million pieces. And he's like, "There is no such thing as justice with Chainsaw Man." And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Chainsaw Man chapter 144?
So many questions, and I don't think we're ever really gonna get the answers to them. But first and foremost, why? That is the question. Why? Chris, do you know why I'm saying why?
No.
Why? Why does he have heels? I don't see like how that
I don't know either. You know what? I did notice that earlier, and I was thinking of asking that question myself, but I blocked that out of my memory, I guess.
it's flesh too. It's flesh
Yeah, it's a
heels.
flesh heel.
Look at his body. His head is still talking, and his head beneath him is mimicking him a little bit. Facial features. When he got carved up into pieces, his face was like, yeah, and the face below him was like that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's a weird
and he
design for
goes,
sure.
yeah, it's why I love this series so much. Honestly, he goes from like, oh, is he naked? Like, what's he? And then he starts talking about how he's gonna become a devil himself. And I already knew it. And he turned, seen that big thing, and he talked about being justice incarnate. So look, this is like what the third or fourth time we've heard about of the Justice Devil, right?
Yeah, last time was with, I want to say her name is Yuki, that young lady
Yeah,
that
right.
was friends with Asa.
Yep. She also got the Justice Devil. So I don't think he's specifically the Justice Devil, but I feel like there's a lot of that being said for a reason, especially with this Swordsman Devil talking about justice. But but obviously, I'm sure it hints at something deeper with Chainsaw Man. I'm interested. I hope there's a lot of lore. I hope we get to learn more about Chainsaw Man and how it is not just this. Excuse me. And it's not just this. LOL. The Chainsaw Devil is in hell, eating everyone, killing everyone. Oh, that's hardcore. I want to. Maybe there's some story behind this. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Brian, what did you think?
This is another weird Chainsaw Man chapter. Um, man, the character designs in this series are so unnerving sometimes. Um, it's for me, it's a little hard to read when some of these characters look like this. But regardless, it was a fun little Chainsaw Man chapter. I honestly don't have much to say about it. Nails guy is pretty cool. weird fucking double head guy is weird.
He's awesome though. Double
Isn't
head
this
guy.
isn't this Katana Man?
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
Katana Man. This is Katana Man.
So wait, is the Justice guy? No, that's. I'm pretty sure it's Katana Man that's there, not the Justice Devil.
No, I'm talking about the bad guy who says that he's Justice incarnate.
No, he's
I don't
not
know if it's the
Devil.
Justice Devil for sure. He just says he's like becoming a devil, and he says he's Justice. So I'm like, is he the Justice Devil?
Isn't the Justice Devil the lady in the beginning of this?
Well, she's
part
dead,
2?
so not anymore.
Unless it takes different forms, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong for sure. I just like inferred it because they said they were Justice incarnate, and they also said they became a devil. So, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's nice to see Katana Man again, and it's interesting that he's with the whatever it's called, the devil thing, whatever it's called, like safety. What's the name of their organization? Is it public safety?
Yeah, public safety.
It's interesting that he's a part of public safety now. It's kind of like him and Denji kind of switched positions or something.
Yeah, well, I guess he was technically part of public safety at the end of part 1 where he was with Makima, but maybe he just stuck around after Makima died. Who knows?
But yeah, those are my thoughts. Not much.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fun chapter. I don't know who this brain nail devil is, but they're a fun character. um yeah, I had a good time with it. I also like I really don't know what to make of these next few chapters because they are super entertaining and I am enjoying reading them. But I'm like, what's happening? What's gonna happen next? I feel like this thing that we've spent so much time establishing is just gone.
Yeah, like I just take it chapter by chapter with
Yeah,
this
me too.
series.
I think it's just interesting that it is more like now just a war to see who gets to control Chainsaw Man, which is very consistent with what's been going on with Denji as a character. Just going from situation to situation where he is not completely autonomous. So it's either like the Chainsaw Man Church wants to use him for something, or the public safety just wants to subdue him. And I feel like even with Makima, this is like the most restricted Denji has probably been. But yeah, it's interesting to see where this goes. I don't know how Denji finds his freedom after this and gets to strive for more as he seems to want. But yeah, I think those are all my thoughts really. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything else to say?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, let's move on.
I don't really have to fucking care who's in my way. I'm gonna fucking kill everybody.
World Trigger. This is World Trigger chapter 237. The away mission test part 33. Goddamn. This is a long one. Okay, so there's a lot of dialogue in this chapter. This chapter is what ostensibly amounts to a lot of planning and coordination. So I'm going to try my best to really summarize this as briefly as I can, especially since it's like 30 pages, which, I'm not mad at, but it is a lot of detail that probably isn't ultra necessary at the moment. But this first part is, it starts off where we last left off, where Emma and Ninomiya are talking about Hatohara and how Ninomiya wants Emma to take more personal responsibility within the team and to be more of an outspoken teammate, And Ninomiya says that I want you to ace this test with your own strength. And he's like, why? what's the connection there? And he's like, the leadership team is wary of others emulating what Hatohara did. And Emma's like, what? Because you think if I flunk the test, you'll just like smuggle himself out of there like her? I'd never. And Ninomiya's like, never? Can you really say that? Like, if you would,
Really?
yeah,
Really?
you really, bro?
You sure about that?
You sure about that? You sure about that? He asks if Hatohara, if you saw Hatohara leaving and she invited you along, can you truly say you would have turned her down? And Emma doesn't really have a response to that. So he's like, after not being selected, if you were to express such a desire to search for Hatohara, he thinks that he's like, I think the Kageura squad would have like supported you through that. So like there would be there's no reason for the higher ups to believe that you wouldn't do the same thing that Hatohara did. So, he's like, hypotheticals like that are a moot point, but for you, I want you to like quash any lingering doubts and make it onto the away mission through the proper channels, because he knows Emma wants to go to help Chika. So, yeah, he's Emma asks Ninomiya if that was even okay for him to share, and Ninomiya actually says like, "Well, I talked to leadership beforehand, so I got permission from them to be able to tell you what happened to Hatohara." So, he says, "Get some rest," and Emma like thinks to himself whether he really takes a think to himself like, would I have taken her up on it? Would I really have gone with her? But yeah, he remembers when Ninomiya says that like he's like, that doesn't mean I will take any of this lying down. I need to hear her reasons directly. And Emma realized that he feels the same way he does about Hatohara, that he wants to find her, so to find out why she did what she did. And we cut to the next morning. He assures Chika that he's going to give it his best effort today. It's a cute little moment. And we cut over to Sua's squad, who are all discussing kind of what's going on for the next day. The special battle sims are starting on that day, so they're just like wondering what's so special about them. So after some kind of I guess what's it called? Planning for the next day, really. And trying to guess what the special battle sims are. There's this they asked Sua how he responded to like that special assignment. Sua says he doesn't really remember. But then we cut to 2 days earlier where we get a scene with the higher ups of Border analyzing everybody's fucking answers to the question of how would they remake the B rank wars. And there are a lot of different ways that are super intricate that they break down a lot of people's answers. A lot of people said, for example, that there'd be mid B rank matches, joint matches where 2 squads team up against 2 squads. There's skins versus shirts.
I like that one.
Yeah, there's a skin versus shirts idea. So there's that. The only thing that with that problem that they find with the skins versus shirts is that with the amount of agents that would be participating, it would leave them a little thin on patrols, defense missions. Somebody suggested that for people who are not participating in the match actively, to watch the matches and submit reports based on the matches. Somebody suggested that the B rank wars should be a fortress defense. And to that point, they also expanded as like maybe every squad could have their own fortress they have to defend. Emma also proposed apparently a handicap match, but they turned that down because the logistics are probably like too difficult for their purposes. So Sasamori talks about how maybe they should be 3-way matches that involve a top, middle, and bottom ranked team. So just so every match has a variety, which would be pretty cool. Somebody suggested mock Tryon soldiers that the teams would compete to eliminate more of. Others has suggested like having different days where agents would use different triggers that are not really ones that they're used to, so on and so forth. There's a lot of shit. One of them suggested that they have operators join the battle, which is kind of a cool idea, having the operators be part of it and have a consequence big enough that they can't let their operators die or they suffer a huge amount of points lost or just immediate disqualification if their operator dies. They also included the idea of like having civilians mixed with like kind of hostile targets to train them in the mindset of being in active battle zones in the neighborhood. If you hurt a civilian, you get -1 point or whatever. Someone had the idea to incorporate Tryon soldiers into the squad and teach and make it so that like mostly like it would make sense for the operators to kind of control the soldiers, and would introduce accountability of operators within the B rank wards in that way, so they have a good measuring, a good damn, what was it? I want to say measurement, but it, something they could like measure their strategic worth with. But the problem with that is that they don't want to encourage bottom rank squads to kind of like rest on their laurels and rely pretty much on Tryon soldiers. But the counter to that is that there could be squads that specifically specialize in using Tryon soldiers. But after that, they're like, this is pretty cool answers. But now let's use the rubric to assign their scores. And we cut back to the present where Team Suwa is now like kind of planning their day. Suwa says that like himself, Osamu, and Oki are going to go back to doing the universal assignments today while the rest of them, I guess, do the battle sim. But then all of a sudden, Suwa gets one of these special assignments, and the special assignment is to create a Tryon soldier using an attached software, and each squad member must create one. The Tryon soldiers you create will be used as controllable units during the special battle simulation. So, yeah, each team member of every squad, it seems, has to make their own Tryon soldiers for use in the special battle sims. And with that, the chapter ends with Suwa changing the plans, and everybody's got to work on their Tryon soldier. And that's where the chapter ends. Wowee. Josh, what did you think about World Trigger chapter 237?
Well, I thought starting with the conversation with Ima and Ninomiya, I thought last chapter was really strong for getting a little bit of history about what happened, and I thought with Ninomiya's friend and mentor and her going to the neighborhood, all interesting. Yeah, all of that's really interesting. But it was just nice seeing, like I said, it was nice seeing that side of Ninomiya, and it was nice to have him hint that, listen, like, I'm rooting for you, and I have more information to tell you. I think that's pretty crazy. This is, like I mentioned before, this is one of the deeper story threads. So, that's cool. Man, they took so long to discuss all of these ideas and what they meant. And it was kind of weird for me because I'm just like, did people send you this in suggestions and you just decided to show all of them out? Or were these things you were thinking and we're like supposed to vote on what we like the most? I don't know. Like
No, I think
it felt like it was really just it felt like he was just getting his ideas out. It's just cool.
Yeah, I think Ashihara thought of all of this just because of the way the way his brain works, given the battle sims and how intricate they are, I'm like, yeah, he thought of all of this shit.
Yeah. I really like the 2v2 idea. That would be fun. There was also another idea I would like, the Team Fortress one, like for you to have to like defend a location or something like that. That would be really cool. I like the operator joining idea as a person on the battlefield, but I don't like it if they're only someone they have to protect. If they do the same exact job, just now they're vulnerable, that's kind of lame.
Well, the idea
But
is
I
that
guess it doesn't
like,
make sense.
well, I guess the idea is that like it would be on the field. They would probably have to do that with operators, and also give the operators the responsibility of controlling Tryon soldiers. Is one thing they posited there.
True.
Yeah.
Because every member of the team has to create one
Mm-hmm.
and use it, right? Every single member.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It reminds me of like battle bots or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, Man, I wonder why Kakazaki didn't tell them what he wrote this for the special assignment. I guess it seemed insignificant,
Oh, you mean
but I
Suwa?
don't think huh?
You mean Suwa?
Suwa, yeah, that's like, yeah, oops. Kakazaki. Yeah, Suwa, I wonder why he didn't mention it to them. Or why he wasn't willing to talk about what he did.
He
And it
said he
seemed like
forgot.
just, and then it became coincidence that it had, oh, well, no, I guess it didn't have anything to do with the next assignment. Them creating, maybe he didn't have the idea about creating, so I don't think it was Sewer that mentioned to use the trigger soldiers. So
Oh yeah, Suwa.
yeah.
Yeah, Suwa said he forgot what he said, but I don't know. I don't know how true that is.
Mm, yeah. Well, yeah, next chapter should be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're all gonna have little sidekick robots that stay with them that'll add like a little aspect to like their fighting. That'd be so dope. Like how Kuga had, oh, what if Kuga remakes the
Replica.
eardrum dude replica, but
That would be
tries
sick. I
to
bet he does that. I would feel comfortable betting on Yuma recreating Replica.
yeah. I see that happening for sure. For sure, for sure.
For sure.
All
No,
right.
those are my thoughts.
Brian, what did you think?
I thought this was a really decent chapter.
Even though there was mad explanations.
I liked the part where like it kind of showed why Ninami is a good leader. Where like like this is a great story to tell from him, and he managed to kind of big like make a sour relationship into something more. He managed to turn it around and make it more of a motivation. It was cool to see Ninami in this he's different. Like you don't see him as just like the cold calculating motherfucker that we've seen him to be like this entire time, but now we see him for like who he is and why his team is so good and all that, so it's good to see that. And then we got into the other shit. I'm okay with the try-on thing, but oh my god, dude, I'm just so tired of this sim in this fucking room, bro. Please. Please, when they said, yeah, and you gotta use the try-on soldiers in the sim. And I was like, whoa, yeah, more sims. We love that. This is what I watched this series for. Yeah, honestly, I think if the sim keeps going, I will rate this as the greatest series of all time if we get more sim action.
Well,
Ironically,
well,
or
we're
unironically?
guaranteed to get more sim action. So
Yeah, like I could go for another 500 chapters of just straight sims and fucking homework. I would love that so much. I can't wait to see how many 500 different ways Osamu does the fucking homework for Sua Squad. That would be so awesome. But yeah, I really like. I don't know, the part with Ninomiya and all that is what I was expecting more from this arc. You know, like more interpersonal, like character development, and people kind of like being stuck together and trying to figure out how to work together and stuff. But it's not that. It is more like random shit. It's more like, oh, here, let's play video game, do some homework. Here you got. I'm gonna ask you a question and you gotta answer, okay? Like, oh my god, man, just can we get more substance like with that Ninomiya moment, you know? Like, can we learn a little bit more about the characters and kind of have them be in an uncomfortable position, like socially? I feel like I want more from, but I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I don't got much else to say about.
I have a rebuttal.
Uh-huh.
So I hope that Horikoshi for the next chapter and for the future onward writes like just draws it in such a way that for some reason you can't understand what's written, but everyone else reading it can. I wish that upon you for the slander.
Or the
That you'll
slander
never
on a
be able.
boring ass fucking arc. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. My bad for calling a spade.
I
a
wish
spade.
you all. I wish you all the spoiler karma that Chris
You know,
gets.
I'm glad that you
I hope
guys
it
can
shits
read
you.
the series and not sleep.
I
Not
love
just fall
homework and
asleep.
simulations, bro.
That is, all right. I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad that
Thank
you
you.
love to do homework.
I like to read about people doing homework.
Yeah,
And you
that's
know
why you
what,
love
Brian?
this
You know
fucking
what,
boring ass
Brian?
arc so
And you
much.
know what, Brian? And you know what, Brian?
What do I know?
I like the sim battles more than the rank wars, more than a little
You
bit.
are on crack.
How about that?
You are
How
on
about that?
crack. You're straight smoking something
How about
fierce.
that?
you're doing a little much, Josh.
You are smoking
Man.
something fierce.
You are doing a little much.
Man, Makumo had more development in this rank war than he's had in the whole series.
In the rank war, yeah, you're right, because the rank war is
And I mean in the simulation war.
no, the rank war is peak. I get it.
The sim war.
Well, were those all your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah,
I do good at the sim battles. Brian would suck. Now I'm done.
yeah, you're right, because I would have quit. I would quit if I had to do sim battles all the time.
Damn.
You could have just did. You could have just cooked for the whole time, and everyone would have did the homework for you. You know what I'm saying? That could have been you.
Yeah, but then I would have to sit there and do fucking homework all the time too. How about that?
You're learning about Tryon, bro.
Fuck that.
Fuck Tryon.
Yeah, fuck Tryon.
I can't believe he said fuck Tryon. I don't know about fuck Tryon, Brian.
Ryan,
Fuck
you have
Tryon,
I understand
bro.
that you're
Wow,
frustrated, Brian,
Brian.
but I don't understand
Wow.
why you had to take it out on Tryon.
Fuck Tryon.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I fucking said it. And I mean it too. I'm not even joking.
He doesn't mean it.
I mean it.
He's just frustrated.
No, you love that Chica has a huge amount of Tryon. And you also love that Mikumo has a low amount, which means that he's an underdog and will have the most potential of them all. You love all of that, Brian. You just gotta wait. You gotta wait.
I
through
gotta
the
wait.
homework,
So
bro.
I gotta wait for
You gotta wait through the homework
500
and the
more
sims.
assignments and 1,200 more fucking battle sims.
Bro, we about to watch BattleBots, man, nigga. You never seen that shit on TV?
It's not battle bots. It's some fucking
Yes, it
corny ass.
is.
They're
Oh
gonna
my
be little
God.
chibi, little tiny fucking Tryon soldiers.
Nah, they're
that you're
gonna be
put
big
into
beasts.
a game, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh man, I can't believe we have to position all these fucking guys like all by ourselves." Hey, all right, you man five of those, you man 5, and then Osamu, you will man 3 of those, and then you have to do that alongside your own triad little units. It's great. This is a fun.
Listen,
Like
Horikoshi
it's the
takes his
greatest
time.
game. I'm sure that if I could play this game, I would enjoy it. But I refuse to sit here and read about people playing the game. You know?
You don't care about all the development alongside it?
No,
That
because it
No.
feels like the development is kind of whack.
He said, no.
was emphatic.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Well,
here's what I think.
Get me out of this arc, please.
Okay, I understand that this could this as this arc has gone on, I can feel more and more that this may not be for everybody.
Get me out of this fucking arc,
and
bro.
I get it, bro. I mean, to be honest, I'm like, this is getting a little long in the tooth, but
When they said that they're gonna put the Tryon soldiers into the sim, I could not fathom why. Like, I just don't understand why.
Okay, wait, hold
why we
on.
gotta keep doing this.
hold on. I personally, I don't have really a problem with it. And this is just like this is a me thing. I'm okay with this. I enjoyed pretty much this entire chapter. I liked reading about like everybody's different answer. That's just my thing. I get that might not be for everybody. One thing I will say though is that in terms of the B rank wars, I don't know why they spent so much time fixating on this, because we may not see a B rank war again. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like they're fixating on a thing that's like not really like a priority anymore, because after this is the away mission, I would imagine. Like, after this whole test, it's the away mission. So it feels weird to spend multiple pages on like an aspect of the universe that we won't really see again in any significant way.
It's because they're gonna fail to make it down to the away mission, so they have to do the.
That would be
B-rank wars.
crazy. As much as I love B rank wars as a concept and I could watch it forever, I'm just like, there's no way they don't make it onto this away mission. But yeah, that's the only thing I'll say. I did, as much as I did enjoy reading everybody's responses, and because in a sense, all these like characters and the way they respond, it says something about their character as well. But it is he is. I feel like Ashihara tends to get lost in the weeds of very heavy details, which is not super ideal for like a monthly series. Especially since like all this information that we learn in this chapter, I don't know how relevant it's going to be during the away mission. As interesting as it was for me to read. But the one thing that I could see is that they clearly like took inspiration from probably the Tryon soldiers idea. Although this could also have been just an idea they had the entire time. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this chapter overall. I really liked it. I was fine with it, but I can understand like why someone would be a little more wary of it already. Even though I do think that like, this arc has had more development within characters than is being given credit for right now. It's just like far and few between because it's monthly, so you forget because of the amount of information you get on top of the development. But yeah, that's really my only gripe with it. I liked it quite a bit. I would hope that this kind of stuff is not just kind of like this cool thing that we're learning about the verse that doesn't super come back later. Because otherwise it's just like, oh, this is cool, but why are you telling me this? You know what I mean? But yeah, those are my real thoughts. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm very interested to see how the Tryon... Oh, I'm somewhat interested. I don't really care for the battle sims all that much because we don't really see them, and they are kind of like complicated for the medium. Like I feel like this would be a lot more fun to see animated because then we could see the little avatars move.
I don't think it would even be fun to watch animated because it's just the same fucking static area for 5,000 chapters.
I'm saying like the battle sims, like the little video game footage. Like that would be fun to watch. I feel like it will work better in that way, but it's not as interesting in the manga form. But
Maybe we'll see.
but yeah, that's really all I really got to say about World Trigger. I enjoyed this chapter a lot, even though it sounds like I didn't, but I totally did. I really enjoyed reading like all this stuff. For me, it's just interesting. I love how Ashihara writes the series in a very unique way, and he likes to. This is problem solving the manga, which I appreciate. It's a fun read, but plot wise, I hope it means more than just kind of implementing, military strategy, essentially training strategies. But yeah, I'm all good on World Trigger. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything else?
Nope.
I just want those guys, every character, to touch grass at this point. That's all.
Well, it's been 5 days for them. It's been 33 months for us.
Jesus.
Yeah, 33 days of fucking homework, bro.
33 months.
33 months. 33 months of homework and battle sims.
Yeah.
That's rough either way you slice it.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know there's more of the series left.
Yeah.
Imagine it just from here on out, it's only battle sims.
At least that will be somewhat kinetic and, I could get into it.
I can't.
At least it wouldn't be
drop the
just them.
series.
It wouldn't be just them sitting at a computer. We would probably get the avatars doing stuff.
Like the neighbors challenge Osamu to a 1v1 in the battle sim.
Is the only way you could defeat them.
It's like the Davy back fight.
Osama just becomes a streamer.
These neighbors are ass at the battle sims. I'm telling y'all, I am the greatest battle sim player of all time.
Sua Squad
You
is ranked
probably
number
would be.
1 seed, and they're heading into the playoffs.
I think the concept is cool if it was expanded on more, the way they could use like the units, how the
I
people
honestly-
can control units.
I think they should expand upon it less and just get away from it.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm done, bro.
I get it. I get what you're
It has
doing
been
here.
expanded well enough, like a soaked sponge.
Damn, Brian.
Yeah, I feel like if it was weekly,
It
it would
would.
have been past this by
Yeah,
now.
if it was weekly, we would be done with this bullshit.
It really would have. It would have been probably over a long time ago. We would have been on the away mission right now if it was weekly, I think. All right. Well, I suppose we should move onward.
Move on.
Grr, bow, bow, bow.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to toss this over to Josh.
Okay, we got Undead Unluck, chapter number 177. Let's get started.
Let's get
I mean, they already got started, honestly, but whatever. Last week, Rick and company decided they was gonna have a three-way marriage. In my head canon anyway. But symbolically that happened on the beach last chapter. And he also decided that he was super okay with letting his legs get cut off in the process. So yeah, fast forward to this week. They're on the highway getting close to the hospital, and they can see all this black stuff in the atmosphere. And they're like, damn, is that Uma sick? And then on cue, the sick sister gets sick. And she's on death's door every time she has a cough, so they really need to focus on that. Latla asks again, like, yo, like, you sure you want to, really throw yourself into this and Layla? And he's like, yeah, I told you I was going to do it. So they land into the hospital through a window with the motorcycle. Super fucking epic. Definitely not safe for a hospital IMO. But as I continue, they run into Fuko, and Fuko's like, yo, I got you. Like, I'm going to take care of Layla. And, at first he's not like down with it, but he decides to just trust her. And that the most important thing at hand is for him to unlock his ability, his unrepairability. So as they're having this conversation, they get interrupted by one of the edgiest characters I've seen in a while. Well, at least since I've seen that last chapter of Boruto. Man, was that edge. Whoa, can't wait till we have a discussion about that one. Maybe next week. So he's just sitting there with his long hair and his head down, and he's like, listen to all this killer music around us. I guess he's talking about all the crying and shit. Like crying and people like aching in pain.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. It's really nasty of him to enjoy that.
Yeah, it's definitely mean.
Yeah.
And not the right thing to do.
He's a rude boy for that. So he says, when faced with the fates I impose, humans whine and resist and cry and suffer. Their bodies won't last even 100 years. They can't leave a single part of themselves behind if they feel their lives have worth. Whoa. You're not even immortal, bro. You're about to get packed the fuck up later. Don't you worry about it. Anyway, so he's talking that good shit to them about how, like, fuck y'all, I'm sick. I'm gonna make y'all sick, and y'all ain't sick. I'm sick in the good way. Y'all sick in a bad way. Oh yeah, there was an awesome 2-page spread in the beginning that I missed, like a heathen. And it showed all the characters. It was pretty lit, and it showed Andy. It's the last time you seen that fucking guy. Huh?
Oh yeah, the color page.
Oh yeah, and unknown.
Yeah.
I'm not saying unknown. I know one. We must say it that way. We must say the play on words, or it's
I know.
we had to pay respect to the author.
This is true. You're right.
When we refer to that character. All right. So, Mr. Rip is just petrified that, like, he had the nerve breaking his. I didn't notice that he got angry because he's just listening. Because he's just listening to him talk all that shit, and at the end he says, "I'll offer these cries straight to God." That shit set him off because he already has beef with God. Just off the strength of his best friend being sick, and one of his future wives, plural, both of them cursed.
No.
So anyway,
I don't think both.
Yep, both sisters.
All right. Hey.
But they gotta survive this guy first, right?
Yeah.
So Rip is like, I guess, about to be a doctor and fight sick, right? And Fuko's like, no, take Miss Layla. I'm gonna hold him back. If you want to defeat them, then operate. Oh, I bugged out saying that Fuko was gonna try to operate on her. He just got her to a safe room to be operated on by Rip, because that's how they're gonna try to unlock his negator ability. Pretty risky, but whatever. Fuko said by any means. So she assumes a fighting position against the walking disease.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, regardless of how you feel about that, Fuko got heart and spunk.
No, I agree.
She doesn't even have a mask on.
Yeah, but she's literally fighting the cold.
She's raw dog fighting. No mask, gloves.
Nothing.
Not even a bottle of hand sanitizer. Imagine she got Clorox bombs or something like that. Blood sticker up. Extinguish. Look
Yeah.
at the mouths. She needs to fucking uh throw some bath salts in them.
Yeah. We need to find the
Yeah.
negator universal healthcare.
Mm. No, that would be bad.
You're right.
It would negate people's health care.
That's true.
He would have to be ungreed, which would cancel out greedy situations like people having to pay for health care, amongst other things. I digress. So Fugo's about to get it popping. We cut to the room where they're about to operate on, and we hear a big bang. So we literally know they're getting it popping. A lot less like scared. And they get started on surgery. They flash back to when they was kids, and he says, "I wonder why illnesses." Rip as a child says, "I wonder why illnesses exist." And Layla says maybe because it's a population control thing. And Rip thinks that it's not so straightforward like that, you know. And then Layla, which breaks my heart, says maybe it's to punish people who did bad things in their past life. And both Latla and Rip are like, nah, he was obviously a decent person. So Rip just basically says what he thinks, which is that people would be way too happy without illnesses. So God forced illness upon you out of jealousy, speaking to Layla. But maybe he just means that generally too. So God, and then Latla's like, God must be awfully petty then, which yeah, pretty petty. He says, yeah, you said it. Girls, he says girls probably hate them. I don't know what that's about. So once you're cured, I bet the best possible life you can imagine awaits you. That was sweet. So yeah. Um So they asked the question like, what's the best life you can imagine? If she's able to, survive the sickness, Layla, that being her. She says the three of them being together always. So right as Rip is about to operate on her, his unrepair starts and he is frozen in place because the unseen and unmoved were there the whole time, very creepy, to like react as soon as he was able to activate it. I guess knowing that they were there was going to be weird for him, so the conditions was that he had to do it. Whatever, I'm not really going to get too deep into this. So he activates his power right before he's able to do surgery on her, and they're like, "Oh, she's gonna get saved. Don't worry." All right. Undra is also there, random. She pulls up out of nowhere in the room, and she says, like, don't worry, she's, Layla's gonna be saved. But are you down with the organization or not? Because she pulls out the sword. I don't know. She kind of said that a little. I feel like she was a little aggressive with that.
Yeah, I agree. That was a little much.
Like, what if he said no? But
well, then
nah,
I
she
guess
said,
your friend's gonna die. They're just a mafia.
Guess so. You could go ahead and just live a nice life.
You'd be ashamed
Peace.
if something happened to your friend.
Yeah. So we cut back to Sick and Fuko fighting. And he's doing a fucking lot. I thought he just made people sick, and he's making. Oh, never mind. That's not him. All right. So
No, yeah, that's the unit.
yeah. Okay, I thought he was like Magneto or something. Nah. Well, Fuko's losing sick because she can't really harm him. And right as she's down, you see a few pods jump in out of nowhere, and then Sick gets punched in his fucking face by the unguard what was this guy? What's the punching guy's negation?
Oh shit.
The boxer. Damn.
We spent the whole arc with him.
We did. It was lit. Undefend. Like he freezes you when you try to. You can't defend yourself.
Yeah.
Unavoid.
Unavoid.
Unavoidable.
Unavoidable.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't avoid. Yeah. He gets punched right in the face for unavoidable. That was lit. And Fuka brings the whole squad. I was wondering where they was at. I thought like she didn't want to include them to all get sick, and they all literally the whole set pulled up to say what up to sick. And
This was
he is
part of the
supposed
war
to
on
be
the,
one of
in the
the.
Bronx.
I actually skipped over this like really early in the beginning because it was part of the cover pages. But we get an explanation about sick from Apocalypse, talking about the master rules and that there are a set of chosen rules after you lose to Ragnarok that will never disappear, and that this loop galaxy was chosen. That's why there's already planets and stars and shit for this loop. Uma chosen as master rules have absolute power. 10 Uma added in the initial stage are the strongest. Now one of them is a quest target. You're all dead meat. So he was talking about Sick, who obviously, Sick has the chance to destroy the entire world by himself. So I guess he is a really big risk and a major rule because sickness has been around forever. I get it. So yeah, the whole squad is there to fight Sick. This is a boss fight, and they need Rip to cut his legs off fast. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Whew. I like this chapter. Um, I thought I thought that I really enjoyed Six like super edge form here. It's funny that they're just like now a person, but yeah, I thought the whole squad pulling up was pretty cool. It is crazy how Rip is still just like, I'm gonna rip my legs off soon. I thought the idea of stopping Rip from using unrepair was really smart. Putting the only two people who could stop him there. Yeah, I don't know how Rip specifically is gonna get rid of Sick, really. I mean, he is a doctor, but using the legs to cut him up, I guess it's still trying to figure out how. But yeah, I thought this was a fun chapter overall. I didn't really have much to say about it. Outside of that, one of the funniest things I did. One thing I did. One thing I did find funny is just like finding the reasons why there's sickness, and it all comes down to God's an asshole.
Yeah.
Why would he let this happen? I feel like the whole premise of this story is like, why would God let there be suffering like this in this world?
Yeah, I get that too. I
Yeah.
feel like it's definitely what they was getting at.
And if there's a God, how could they let this happen? But yeah, those are really all my thoughts. Josh, what did you think?
I think, damn, there was something you said that I had a thought too. Maybe it'll come back to me. But yeah, it was kind of weird that this Uma ended up being like a real person. I don't know if it's that the other Umas that they seen weren't, just that strong yet. Maybe that's just they haven't faced the Uma on this level. It's not like the absolute rules that Andy fought before. This thing. So I think it's cool. I like the extra layer of depth that's added. I don't. I'm assuming Rip is gonna pull up and just slash him apart, but there's no way it could be that easy. He has to get used to his ability too. He's not nice like that yet. So this should be a prolonged fight. I wonder if all 3 of them are gonna survive. I have this weird thought that that Layla survives, but Layla ends up dying.
Jeez, that would be sad.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I didn't love how they stopped Rip's negation ability. I thought it was pretty anticlimactic, and it became that way because they have a real tragedy at hand with the Umasik. So I get it. It just did seem a little, compared to the other negation activations, this was probably like the most chill one. In the grand, well, I guess not like in small picture wise.
Yeah, I think they were just like letting him try to operate on her, and Chikara and Sean were there to like save him in case that unrepair kicked in. Because I think they needed Rip to try and save Layla so that unrepair would activate. So in a sense, they kind of like tricked him into activating unrepair without having him go through the tragedy of losing Layla. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That seems reasonable. But undrawing had to press him like that still.
Yeah, the undraw part was she was a
That
little
was so
harsh,
unnecessary.
I guess.
They even have Untel there. Untalk.
Yeah,
Unspeak.
Untel, I think.
Yeah. Everyone's there, bro.
Untel kind of reminds me of
Oh.
Sanji in that moment.
Yeah, a little bit. You said Sanji?
Yeah, just the way
I'm
he's
like, no
unfixing his
real
tie.
value.
Hmm?
What did you say?
Just because the way he's undoing his tie and stuff. Very Sanji.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do look like it a little bit. That's funny. With a mask on.
Were those all your thoughts?
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
All right. With that being said, that has been Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out my show, The Weekly. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram and Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as well. Email the show itself with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com, and we will answer them on our pre-show chat show. Do that up, please. We have a lot of fun making the pre-show, so check that out. Have a good time listening to us. Subscribe to the podcast, like, share, all that stuff on YouTube. Also subscribe to us there so you can keep up with the really good chapter of the week poll. I did do it this week, but we didn't have we didn't really have any votes this time around. But hey, if you guys cast your vote, we'll reveal the name of the series that won your favorite chapter of the week every week. So check us out on that. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts if you want to take us on the go. And yeah, with that being said, that's our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe, New Jump citizens. See you guys next week.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. To Brian's computer.